Hello everybody. As most of you know, my name is Gareth Steed and I am the Partnerships Coordinator here at Jakarta Nanyang School. We are currently in uncharted territory with the COVID-19 outbreak. It's forced us into social distancing, it has forced business closures, it has forced school closures. However, during this difficult time, it is vital that we continue with a sense of normalcy, and this includes the education of our students, of your children. Here at JNY, we will continue with the education programs for our students, and we have set up online and at home learning programs so that they can continue with their education. I fully understand that this is putting an awful lot of pressure on parents and students. Trust me, it's putting an awful lot of pressure on us as teachers as well. But we are here to help as much as we can. This is why I've created this video, to try and help take some of this pressure off of you as parents, off of you as students, and to help you to understand the learning process and what you need to put in place at home to help with the education of students. So how can parents help? Well, the most important thing is children need routine. Any psychologist will tell you that routine offers students boundaries and security. This allows them to grow. Build a timetable for your child. Make sure that they get up at a set time every day, that they know what tasks they need to perform every day, and that they go to bed at a set time. This is especially vital for the younger members of our community. We will provide academic timetables for the students to follow, but this is only half of it. And the routine that is normally instilled during school time needs to be adhered to. Take into account when you're building a timetable, these academic timetables that we're setting. This is an example one that I use with my daughter who's in kindergarten. I build in relaxation time, play time, and work time, as well as exercise time. As we are all in social distancing at the moment, and we are by nature social creatures, especially children, social interaction is vital. And you can do this by allowing your students to interact online with their friends, not only for schoolwork, but for social purposes as well. It will help them to process what is going on, not only with their schoolwork, but also what is going on in the world at the moment. They are feeling anxious, they are feeling nervous. Even the really young ones don't understand why they can't go to the mall and play, why they can't go out and play with their friends. And you need to help them to understand this. Set guidelines and rules around social media, but don't limit them just to social media for work. Home learning in isolation is not easy. It's very, very stressful. And your child may be prone to more stress and more anxiety than they normally would be in a classroom setting. And they may struggle to cope. They may struggle to understand the lessons that they are having to learn. If they are stressed, let them have breaks. Encourage them to go and be physically active, because this will relieve some of the pressure. Most importantly though, be there for them. They are going to need help. We will be there. We will be contactable. A student can contact us, can contact their form tutor, can contact our counselling departments, and I will put the contact details for all of these people at the end. But make sure that you are there for them, and we'll touch more on that a bit later as well. So what do the students need to do? Student responsibilities are very much dependent on their age and should be adjusted accordingly. Primary 2 students down are going to need a lot more assistance than primary 3 up. And the assistance that you as a parent need to give is very much dependent on their age. However, the very first rule is set rules. Look at the guidelines that we have set out, especially in this video, for example. Look at the timetable that we have sent you, and then sit down with your child and work out the rules. This is really important. Work on the rules with your child. If you want to get buy-in to rules for children, they need to be involved in it. Ask the child, what time do you think you need to be up in the morning? What time do you think you should be playing? What time do you think you should be going to bed at night? And agree amongst yourselves. This buy-in from the child reinforces the rules with them. It gives them a sense of responsibility, and that sense of responsibility means they're much more likely to actually adhere to the rules. And if they don't, you as a parent have good comeback. Well, you agreed to these rules. We sat down and set them, and now you're saying you want to go against them. Is this a mature and responsible thing to do? Does this make me want to include you in future decisions? Students should check into their respective learning platforms 5 to 10 minutes before the first lesson begins in the morning. This allows them enough time to catch up on any information that has been posted overnight and to catch up on any messages they've been sent. Students should complete all tasks they are given as they would in school. Honestly, on time, and to the very best of their ability. Don't forget, just because students are not in school, it does not mean they aren't being assessed. Especially as the chances are pretty high that we will not be doing semestral exams this term. Therefore, there will only be probably one assessment for this term, but students are still expected to have an annual passing grade of 50% or above to progress through to the next academic year. Therefore, hard work at home is vital. If a student is having trouble understanding a concept or an idea or even a lesson, then it is important that they seek help. Active communication is vital during online learning. And teachers can offer advice, they can offer support and help to students who need it. It is also important, however, that students don't simply rely on teachers for all of the answers. We as teachers are not going to always be there, and the ability to actually problem solve by themselves, individually or in small groups, and find solutions to problems will give them very, very important life skills as they move forwards. If student does, however, feel stressed and unable to cope, then either talk to us, talk to the teachers, talk to our counselling department, as I mentioned earlier. We are all there to help with this. And you as parents the same. If you need somebody to talk to us. So how do we establish routines and expectations? The school will have provided you with a schedule or a timetable of learning by now. This will include break times, meal times, and when each subject lesson is scheduled. It is important that these schedules are adhered to. Some of these lessons will be done face-to-face using video conferencing software. That said, not every single lesson will need face-to-face contact, and some lessons will require the student to continue with work that had been set in the previous lesson. It's important that you set these expectations as soon as distant learning begins, not several days later when it becomes apparent that the child is struggling with a lack of routine. Setting up a home learning environment. Your child may have a place where they usually do their homework, but this may not be suitable for long-term home and distance learning. The perfect place should be a family space, not a bedroom. It should be a place that has the ability to be kept quiet, but the parent has the ability to monitor constantly. I'll provide a link to a document from the Australian government on setting up a home learning environment. What about mental and physical well-being? Being locked up at home for a long period with bored children, frustrated adults, can cause stress and conflict in the home. There are ways that you can reduce this stress and help continue a level of not normalcy, at least a level of understanding of the situation. First of all, understand that everyone is anxious about the situation. Set time aside to get together as a family and talk about it. Have each member of the family mention one thing that is worrying them about the situation and one thing that they're actually quite enjoying about the situation. For example, I'm getting to binge watch loads of Netflix. Make sure you as a parent, though, listen to the children's concerns and don't just dismiss them offhand as childish or irrelevant. Praise them, especially the younger children, for being grown up enough to express how they feel. Try not to offer direct advice, but guide the children into answers. This will give them a much greater understanding of the situation and also the confidence in the ability to resolve issues in the future. Physical well-being is really important, and exercise regularly as a family. Even if it's simply going around the cluster for a walk for 10 minutes, do it together. It can really help bond the family together and release much needed chemicals into the brain. It also gets you out of the house for a few minutes, which will help to reduce that stress and anxiety that you're feeling being cooped up at home all the time. If you're a little bit braver, try a new activity as a family. Yoga, learn a martial art. Remember that children really need to feel part of a family unit at the moment. Especially during difficult times, younger children need to feel that they are being cared for. And activities done together, no matter what, will help develop that family bond. We have family movie and pizza night, for example. Once a week, we make our own pizza and we watch down as a family and watch a family-friendly movie. It gets us all together in one place for a while, and it also gives us something to talk about other than the situation that's going on at the moment. Lastly, encourage your children to stay in contact with other family members and friends who may be further away, especially if you're an expat with grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins in a different country. Just talking to somebody who's somewhere else may give your child an opportunity to unload certain feelings and emotions that they may not want to unload on you. They're seeing how stressed you are and they may not want to add to that. But the ability to speak to somebody else further away may be a really useful tool for them. I'll provide a link to activities that families can do together, again, hereafter. So how about communicating with the school? Make sure that you know how the school is going to communicate with you and check that channel regularly. From kindergarten up to primary 2, we'll be using Class Dojo, and from primary 3 upwards, we'll be using Edmodo. These are the main pages that you and your child should check every day. This is how we will provide the majority of the information. However, make sure you also check your emails regularly from any emails and updates from the school. Ensure that your child's form tutor has your updated contact details, whether that be a phone number so that they can WhatsApp or an email. They may need to get in touch with you if there are problems. Be proactive in communicating with the teachers. If you are concerned about anything at all, let the teachers know. But remember, we are also under a great deal of pressure and stress. We Most of us have children at home and are trying to continue with the education at the same time. So please be patient with us. Please, when you are communicating with us, be respectful, be patient, and be to the point. We will get back to you as soon as we can, but do understand we are dealing with children at home and your children at the same time. And talking about these online digital learning platforms, to support your child using these platforms, ensure that you know the following information. How to access the student portals, Edmodo and or ClassDojo. How to log in to these devices and websites. Make sure you know, or your child knows, their school email address, usernames and passwords. If you or your child are unsure of any of the answers to these questions, contact your child's form tutor and they will be able to direct the questions and the resets to the correct people. These times are unprecedented, and I know that you as parents and your children are going to find this time very stressful. We all are. We need to work together. If we talk to one another, if we work as a community, we will get through this together. To quote the United Nations, keep calm, stay wise, be kind, and stay in touch with us. Thank you.